What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of Intense Takes Inside My Mind. Got a big episode ahead of you. Lots of sports to talk about. Got some switches in the power rankings, updated MVP, football, NFL, college football, some great film also from offense and defense. So let's jump right into it. All right, so let's jump right into our power rankings for this week. At number 1, we got OKC making their way to the top again. They finished 4-2 in the past week with wins over Memphis and Miami. Had a huge win against Memphis. They actually came back in that game down as many as 17 points. Shea was not playing in that game. I watched that comeback from start to finish. Jay Will was amazing, played great offense, great defense, dishing out the ball. Chet also played very well. Huge contributions from their bench players. So they had a pretty good week. Also beat Miami. They also had some really bad losses in this week too. 2 losses. Got blown out against the Hornets from start to finish. Then blew an 18-point lead to the Phoenix Suns. So, it was a really pretty up and down past week for OKC, but they seem to have, turned the tide a little bit. After being second in last episode's power rankings, making it back to number 1. Right now, they're currently 5th in offensive rating and number 1 in defense, as they have been all season long. So, OKC is still at the top for me, still that contender, still the title favorite in my opinion. They're a really good team led by a great player, and they have a good supporting cast also. Number 2, we got the Detroit Pistons coming in. They finished 3-1 this past week with huge wins over the Knicks and the Cavs, who are 2 of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. The thing that I'm seeing about Detroit is that they're beating a lot of good teams, both in the East and the Western Conference. And to me, that says a lot about this team. To me, that means that they're showing true contender status and a true will to be able to come out of the Eastern Conference. Now, there's another team who's not in my power rankings, but I anticipate that they will jump into the power rankings at some point as the season goes along, and that's the Sixers. I spoke about them in last week's episode, but just going back to Detroit, I feel like they're a really good team led by a great player in Cade Cunningham. Great defensive team. They're number 2 in defensive rating, and they're 11th in offensive rating. So that offense needs to get better, as we all know, but right now they're really steadying the ship. They're having very big wins, like I said, so that's why they're number 2 in this week's power rankings. Number 3, got to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. And it's crazy because I put them in my power rankings last episode, and they had been playing some, pretty shaky basketball. But, man, like I said, this team, when it comes to playing up to their competition, they play up to their competition. They finished 5-1 this past week, sitting at 26-14 right now overall. Huge wins over the Spurs and the Cavs in the past week. With the Spurs, huge comeback on Sunday. Outscored the Spurs by 15 in the fourth quarter and hit the go-ahead and game-winning shot to win that game. Also beat the Cavs. Team is playing great, taking great strides right now. Looking like a true contender, looking like a team that could definitely challenge the Thunder, challenge the Spurs, challenge the Rockets, in my opinion. They're a really good team. After starting off the season very, very slow on the defensive end, they've ramped it up. They're 5th in defensive rating right now, and they're number 6 in offensive rating. So, you're top 6 in the league, like I said, in both in offense and defense. You're going to put yourself in a position to win a lot of games, and that's what Minnesota has been doing lately. Number 4, got the Spurs coming in at number 4. They finished 3-3 this past week with wins over the Celtics and the Lakers. Like I said, they lost to Minnesota on Sunday. The team is playing good. They're still a great team, still number 2 in the Western Conference. Like I said, they're a young team, so there's going to be ebbs and flows and ups and downs within the season. But to me, the team has steadied the ship. They played great basketball overall so far. They're number 8 in offense, number 3 in defense. So they're a really good team. And when you allow yourself to be top 10 in both categories, you give yourself a great chance to win every game. And number 5, we got the Denver Nuggets coming in at 26-13 right now. 3-3 this past week. Huge wins over the Sixers and the Celtics. on back-to-back nights. No Jokic still, and that's a huge reason why I put this team at number 5 in my power ranking. For them to be able to steady the ship without Jokic, without Valanciunas, Aaron Gordon in and out of that lineup. Although he is back now, this team, being able to do what they haven't done in previous years when Jokic does go out or is not in the game, for him to be out this extensive period of time and for them to be able to steady the ship is huge. So shout out to Jamal Murray. A lot of players coming off their bench also. Pickett, Peyton Watson upping his scoring. Just a lot of players that are contributing right now in the absence of Jokic. They're number 1 in the whole league in offense, 20th in defense, which has dipped a little bit over the past couple of weeks. But, the Nuggets are a really good team, another contender in the Western Conference for sure. Next, we're going to go into our best games of the past week. Had to go with the Timberwolves versus that Spurs game. It was a great game to me because I love games that stay within that 100 to 110, 115 range. This game was right there with it. Timberwolves ended up winning 104 to 103. Huge fourth quarter comeback by the Timberwolves. Like I said, locked on defense, was able to outscore the Spurs 33 to 18 in the fourth quarter. Anthony Edwards finished with 23 points and a game-winning basket. As I said, Wemby was able to finish with 29 and 7. So to be able to see two powerhouse teams go at it in a defensive battle, and two of the top players being able to show up in the biggest moments, either throughout the game or at the end of the game, that's what you love to see when you're watching basketball and when you're watching superstars play. Number 2 for best games, I got the Spurs versus the Celtics. Another one of those games where it was defensive battle, and it took a lot of great shot making and playmaking ability to pull this game out. Spurs ended up winning this game 100 to 95. Big fourth quarter, like I said, great defense, huge shot making. Wemby came off of the bench in that game, was able to finish with 21 and 6. Jaylen Brown finished with 27, 8 and 7. He's also been having a great season so far. But that's my power rankings and best games for this past week. Welcome to the second segment. Let's jump right into it. Surprise teams, transactions, and MVP rankings. First, we're going to start off with our transactions for the past week. As everybody knows, Trae Young got traded to the Washington Wizards for C.J. McCollum and Kispert. Fresh start for him. He felt like Atlanta, didn't appreciate him. You could start to see, the signs, especially when he came back from injury, being that Atlanta was playing so well without him. And then when he came back to the starting lineup, they had lost like 5 in a row. And, I've always been a critic of Trae Young. Great offensive player, but small, inefficient, doesn't defend. And to me, it's hard to be a number 1 option or a leader on a team if you have those traits. Great playmaker, great scorer, like I said, but high volume shooter, very inefficient at times, high turnovers. And a lot of people look at, the 27 and 10, 27 and 9. But when you throw in 4 turnovers here and being, 32% from 3-point range and being a terrible defender, that stuff starts to catch up to you. And around the league, your value will start to deteriorate to teams that truly want to win championships. So, he felt like he needed a fresh start. The Hawks, obviously, with the emergence of Jalen Johnson, also with Dyson Daniels and many other players on that team, feeling like, okay, they have a player that they can build around. Then you have C.J. McCollum, who's a true vet, still a person that could score at a high level. Not sure what Atlanta's going to do with him. They feel like they can make the playoffs. He'll be a great fit for them if they do decide that they want to make a push for the playoffs or even, a push to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. For me, I'm still thinking that CJ is a huge buyout candidate. We'll go on waivers, so we'll see what happens with that. But, like I said, just a fresh start for both the organization and for Trae Young. And, we'll kind of see what happens. Well, that's something that we'll be following moving forward. But, Washington also has some very, very young pieces, some pieces that you could build around for sure. With Alex Sarr, who has continued to improve every single year. Also, rookie Trey Johnson, Still got Bilal Cabal, not Keontae, the other guy, George, forgot his first name, but they got a lot of young pieces on that team that you could build around for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. Second thing I want to speak about, this Anthony Davis injury. Obviously, he's injured his hand, and he's going to be out for 2 months right now, a month and a half. He went and got a second opinion. He's not going to need surgery, which, still this injury is it kind of put a wrench in a lot of teams' plans, especially moving forward. Hawks and Pistons, to be exact, those were two teams that were connected to Anthony Davis and possibly trading for him. But him being out this long, we're talking about past the trade deadline, and he's going to be reevaluated in 6 weeks. So, we'll see what happens with him. It's tough because I feel like he could be a true threat and a big piece for somebody who feels like they can make it to the finals. Like I said, with the Pistons, and I've connected them a bunch, especially over the past 2 episodes, where I felt like the Pistons were a great landing spot for Anthony Davis. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in 6 weeks. The trade deadline happens in about a month and a half or so, right around the same time. So we'll kind of see what happens and go from there. Next, we're going to jump into our our MVP rankings. Number 1, I got SGA coming back to the top. He's averaging 32, 4, and 6 right now on 55, 40, and 88. Obviously, his team has the best record in the NBA. He's a great defender also. So that's why we got him at number 1. Number 2, we got Cade he's averaging 27 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists on 47% from the field, 84 from the free throw line. Like I said, a young player, being able to lead a young team to the top seed in the Eastern Conference is huge for him. So that's why I got him at number 2. Number 3, got to put Ant at number 3 for this week. Averaging 29, 5, and 4 on 50% from the field, 41% from three-point range. He's playing great basketball right now, leading his team. Great defender, both sides of the ball, two-way player. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Number 4, got to put Jaylen Brown in there. Got to put Jaylen Brown in there, man. He's truly taken this season to show everybody that he could be a true number 1 option. Great efficiency, averaging 29, 6, and 5 on 49% from the field, 38% from three-point range. Boston is, 10 games over 500 right now, which is kind of a surprise to me. But they still got a pretty good roster. But Jaylen Brown is a huge reason why. Also, he's a two-way player too. Great defender. Takes on that challenge every single night to take on the bulk of the scoring load and also defend the other team's best player. Just take a look at that game where he scored 50 against the Clippers while also defending Kawhi Leonard. So, to me, that really put him right here in the MVP rankings for me this week. Number 5, got to go with Tyrese Maxey, man. I got to go with Tyrese Maxey. He's averaging 31, 5, and 6 on 48% from the field, 41% from 3, 88 from the free throw line. I mean, to be able to hold the fort for that team while Joel and Paul George, get the rhythm and the Sixers get their rhythm as a whole, he's been available too. So had to put Tyrese Maxey in there this week. Like I said, he's averaging 31 on great efficiency, and he's actually a willing defender also. So if you see everybody in my top 5, they all have the ability to be two-way players. They all have the ability to be efficient. And to me, that's important. That shows me how impactful a player could be, not only for himself, but for his team and within the game. That's my MVP rankings and surprise transactions and teams for this week. All right, welcome to our next segment, Bonus Takes. This segment is when I like to just talk about sports all around and what's going on. So number 1, let's jump into the college football playoff championship. We got the championship now, Miami versus Indiana. I think I heard that Indiana is favored by like -6 or something like that. Look, man, that's a great team. They're a great team all around. I think Miami's a really good team too. That game against Ole Miss came down to the wire. Carson Beck was able to lead his team down the field and, scored a game-winning touchdown. So we'll see what happens, We'll see what happens with that. IU has just been dominant, man. They've been dominant all year. I did not expect that Oregon game to go like that, but when you throw a pick six on when you're able to score a pick six on the first possession of the game, it's probably going to look good for you. So we'll see what happens. Very, very interested to watch this game. Very, very interested to seeing how it turns out. And hopefully it's close. Hopefully Miami keeps it close. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if Miami's able to come out and win this game. Miami is very good on the defensive. Got a very good defensive front also. So very looking forward to that game. Next, let's jump right into it, man. The Bears. This is crazy. I don't know what they sacrificed to have the season that they're having, but this is some voodoo magic that's going on. I can't remember seeing a team win in the fashion that they're winning. I mean, just consistently winning and the games. We're talking about a defense that looks damn near anemic for the majority of the game. And then once it hits the fourth quarter, like something amazing just happens. But yeah, man, everybody's happy to see what's going on with the Bears. We'll see what happens. They placed the Rams. Rams are a very good team. Rams just came off a hard-fought game against the Panthers, which also nobody expected. But this wild card round was just amazing all around. I mean, great games outside of that Texans versus Steelers game, which got ugly in the fourth quarter. But Panthers, Rams, Eagles, 49ers, which I'm very pissed off about. Shout out to the Eagles also for firing Patullo. Should have been did that. But yeah, who else? Patriots, Chargers, very defensive battle. Bills, Jaguars. I mean, wild card weekend this year was great. So let's see what happens with the Bears, man. The Rams are a tough team. They have a great defensive front. Jared Verse, Byron Young, Fisk. We got the safeties, Curl, Quentin Lake. They got a lot of great players on defense, and then that their offense with Puka Nacua, Stafford, Kyron Williams, Blake Corn, Devontae Adams. They got players all around to be able to help them. So we'll see what happens. I'm very much looking forward to watching that game. Next up, we got coach firings. So far, obviously, we already know about Kevin Stefanski, who got fired in Cleveland, John Harbaugh, who got fired in Baltimore, Mike McDaniels, who got fired in Miami. Just got the news today that Mike Tomlin stepped down from the Steelers. So I'm very interested to see, which coaches get these open jobs. I believe it's about 8 jobs that are open now. So that's a lot of job openings right now. So I'm very interested to see what teams hire who. Also saw a report about Marcus Freeman, who's the head coach for Notre Dame. And even though he said that he's not leaving Notre Dame, I know a lot of teams are still going to try to poach him, going to test his limits and see how interested he is about staying or if he's able to make that transition to the NFL. So very much so looking forward to seeing, how this all shakes out. And, who knows? Let's see what happens in Buffalo. If Josh Allen and the Bills are not able to make it to the Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, that Sean McDermott could be out of a job too. So, this is going to be a very, very, interesting offseason in the NFL. So I'm very much so looking forward to it. Number 4, got a divisional round of the playoff set. Schedule is out. We'll go one by one, and I'll kind of pick my winner from each game. First game, we got Seattle versus San Francisco again. They ended up splitting 1-1 in the regular season. Obviously, Seattle taking that number 1 seed game, last game of the season. But, I mean, man, what Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh has been able to do with that San Francisco 49ers team is just incredible. But, man, Seattle has a great defense, man. They have a great defense, and I don't trust Sam Darnold, but when you got a defense like that that's able to stop the other team from scoring, especially with a offense like San Francisco, you know, it bodes well for you. Obviously, San Francisco is going to be without George Kittle, so that's going to hurt a lot. We'll see if Ricky Pearsall is going to be able to play this week. But, man, that game, it feels like a toss-up to me. I'm probably going to take, man, I think I'm going to go with the 49ers to take that game. I feel like I'm going to go with San Francisco to take that game. They got a great head coach, great defensive coordinator, and it's going to be a very good chess match. So I'm looking forward to watching it. Second, we got the Bears versus the Rams. Like I spoke about earlier with the Bears, you know, this is a team that's been living off destiny. It just seems like this is their season, this is their year. But the Rams are a very good team. They're a very, very good team. And I believe that it won't be hard to come back against the Rams, but you got a great coach like Sean McVay, Hall of Fame quarterback like Matthew Stafford, great receivers, you know, great running backs, and the Bears defense is not good. Like anybody that's been watching that team knows that that defense is not good. So, you know, if anything, it's going to be a shootout if the Bears offense is able to have consistency throughout the game. Otherwise, I do believe that game could get out of hand. I'm going to go with the Rams to win that game for sure. I think the Bears season is going to come to an end. It's been a great season, a season probably nobody expected. So I think you take that win and go along. Third game, we got Bills versus Broncos. Broncos have a great defense. Great defense. Not a huge Bo Nix fan. Don't really believe in him. And I feel like that's the reason why I'm going to go with the Bills. Like I said, Broncos have a great defense. Zach Allen, Benito, Pat Surtain, obviously, Isaiah Moss. You know, they have a great defense all around, all three levels. They're able to get to the quarterback, sack the quarterback, high pressure rate, high sack rate. So, I mean, that's a good defense. But you got Josh Allen back there, Dalton Kincaid, great offensive line, Dawson Knox, Dawkins, left tackle, James Cook, like I said, they have weapons for sure. And I think Brandon Cooks, the wide receiver, has been a great addition for them. Josh Palmer, too. Khalil Shakir, who's great in the slot. I mean, he was targeted 11 times against the Jaguars, caught all 11 passes. Great run after the catch player, too. So I just believe that overall, I think that the Bills offensively will be able to overcome, you know, the defense of the Broncos. And obviously the Bills also have their deficiencies on the defensive end. Not that good of a run stopping team, but they're great in the pass. And if they're able to create some turnovers, which Bo Nix will give you some, I believe that they have a chance to win that game. Then the fourth game, we got Houston versus the Patriots. And I think everybody's looking forward to this game for sure. If I had to put my finger on it, I think that the Seattle versus 49ers game and the Houston versus Patriots game is a game that everybody is really looking at. Everybody saw what Houston did yesterday against the Steelers. I mean, that defense has no weaknesses, not a single weakness. Great up front, led by Will Anderson, led by Danielle Hunter. Great linebackers, Al-Shaair. Then you know about their secondary. Derek Stingley, Kamari Lassiter, Jalen Peachtree. I mean, they have no weaknesses on their defense. They get pressure with four. When you're able to only rush four every single play and still get pressure and just allow your corners to sit back and lock down, man. And that's why that team is, to me, that team is going to the Super Bowl. I got the Houston Texans going to the Super Bowl, facing the Rams in the Super Bowl. So, but I think it's going to be a great game. I'm very much so looking forward to that game. I'm going to take Houston in that game. I think Houston's offense played well. Now, we'll see what happens with Nico Collins. I know he's in concussion protocol right now, but Christian Kirk came up huge last night. And outside of C.J. Stroud just giving the fucking ball away, the Texans were able to move the ball. Woody Marks ran the ball great. Nick Chubb was running the ball great. Like I said, Christian Kirk was caught the ball for over 100 yards yesterday. Jaden Higgins, they have weapons for sure. I think Houston has great weapons. That offense has been inconsistent, but I do believe that what they were able to do against the Steelers yesterday is something that they could take and implement into the next game against the Patriots, because the Patriots are not a team who gets they don't put pressure on the quarterback. So CJ Stroud, if he's able to sit back in that pocket, go through his progressions, which he's more than capable of doing, and just hold on to the football, not fumble the ball fucking 5 times, I think Houston has a great chance of winning that game, and that's why I'm going to pick them to win that game for sure. That's my bonus takes for this week. Hey, what's up, and welcome to Film Breakdown Inside My Mind. For today's offensive film, I'm showing you guys a possession from the Sixers Magic game. This possession to me stood out because of just the amount of ball movement, but it's really how the possession started. It started from, VJ Edgecombe racing on the floor, trying to get, some fast break points or trying to, get some points in transition. That ended up turning into, players swinging opposite side and, getting a dunk. So let's jump right into it. So right here, I'm going to start. We got VJ coming down, trying to attack the rim. He gets stopped. So as he gets stopped, we got Jarris Walker setting a screen for him. VJ then collides. So then we have some more slips. So Jarris slips. As he slips, you see Wendell Carter is right there, dropped down to help. We got Andre Drummond in the corner that's wide open. We got Tyrese Maxey also that's open on the left elbow. So we're going to play it. One dribble. Swing, another swing to the corner, Jarris pump fake, and then we got it. So that was just great offense all around. What started on the right side of the floor went over to the left side of the floor and then ended up back on the right side of the floor and to the dunk. So let's go right into it again. Got VJ, he's going to attack. He gets stopped. We got a pick and roll slip. We got help coming. We got a kick to the corner, kick to the elbow, another kick up top, right elbow. So we got drive, kick, dunk, and that was a nice, easy dunk. So just great ball movement all around by Philadelphia. Like I said, top side swinging from the right wing to the left wing, from the corner. Like everybody on the Sixers touched the ball, got them an easy basket, and Drummond was able to punch it home. Hey, what's up, and welcome to the defensive film for this week's episode. Today, I want to highlight an individual defender, and that's Jaden McDaniels. I want to highlight him in a fast break setting. I know when it comes to fast breaks, a lot of defenders, they love to get handsy. They love to reach. They love to jump into the offensive player, whether the offensive player is going up at the basket, going up toward, like they love to jump forward. To me, Jaden McDaniels played perfect fast break defense on this possession, and I really pointed it out because of the player that he was going up against on this possession. It was De'Aaron Fox, who's probably the fastest player in the NBA with the ball in his hands. And I want you to take a look at how Jaden McDaniels was able to defend this possession, not using his hands, but using his body, using his lateral quickness, and just being able to go up with his length too. So let's jump right into it. So now we got De'Aaron Fox over here. He's slowing down. He's going to speed up right here. And I want you to take a look at Jaden McDaniels. I'm going to play it back right quick. And I just want you to look at Jaden McDaniels and how disciplined he is. We got De'Aaron Fox. So this is now. So if you look at it, it's just one-on-one. It's De'Aaron Fox, middle of the court, and Jaden McDaniels, and it's him. And look at Jaden McDaniels communicate to his team. He's gonna put his hands up to let everybody know that he's taking De'Aaron Fox going up the middle. Look at him as he slides his feet. Now we're in the paint, and De'Aaron Fox is at the free throw line. And around this area is where a lot of defenders, they love to reach at this point. And we all know how smart these offensive players in the NBA are now. The moment they see that hand out there, they're putting that ball down, they're sweeping through, and they're getting that foul call. And look at how disciplined he is. Hands to his side, and he's using his length. And look at where his feet are. Look at where his left foot is at the free throw line, right there, squared up with De'Aaron Fox. And you see his right foot at the bottom, right at the hashes. So he's squared up, still in front of De'Aaron Fox, still able to keep him in front of him. Like I said, not using his hands, not reaching or anything. So I'm going to play it more. And he's going to wait. So as De'Aaron Fox gets there and they're meeting each other at the rim, there is no jumping into him. He's waiting for De'Aaron Fox to go up because he knows he has the length to get up there with him. He has the height. So he doesn't have to jump into De'Aaron Fox. He doesn't have to reach at all. He could just go up when De'Aaron Fox goes up, and he's able to get a good block right there. So I'm going to play it back for you again. I just want you to see how disciplined he is on this possession. Not using his hand, using his feet, communicating with his teammates, and great defensive play, like I said. And, that's 2 points right there, which 8 out of 10 times De'Aaron Fox is making that basket. And like I said, this was a 1-point game. This was a huge difference in the game, and was another reason why Minnesota was able to make their way back and ultimately win this game. Thank you for tuning in to episode 6 of Intense Takes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like I said, continue to share. Anybody who wants to know more about sports, basketball, anything in general, just show them this podcast. I just want to give out knowledge, like I said, every single week. But appreciate you guys, and see you guys episode 7.